I remember telling one person, and they just looked at me crazy. They're like, all right, well, don't get your hopes up. I'm like, what?
Yeah. My little brother, he's a doctor, and he was just like, what's going on here? I have no idea.
My name's Alan Brower.
I'm Catherine Lavery.
And we're the co-founders of Best Self Co. Best Self started as sort of an organic project. It started out with physical day planner that Catherine and I created for ourselves.
I met Alan in an entrepreneurship group.
Catherine and I were using this framework in a blank moleskin, and the framework is now today the Self Journal. But in a blank moleskin, we would write down this structure every day, and we sort of got tired of that. And we said, why don't we do a small batch of this so we don't have to keep writing in this, building this framework on a daily basis. We already know how each other worked. We already knew our strengths, knew our weaknesses.
So we took the moleskin and we designed an actual book rather than writing it down every day. And then we launched it on Kickstarter. So we had one prototype wrapped in tissue paper at all times because we had one of these things that we used for our Kickstarter video to show people. And then when we launched it on Kickstarter, our goal was 15,000 and we hit that in 28 hours. At the end of the 34 days, we hit 322,000. And I was like, wow, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do now?
Then we have to deliver.
10,000 pre-orders, which we promised by Christmas, which I would advise nobody ever promise a delivery date because then people are insane. The first major hurdle for us was when I get this bill of lading in, and it was like, oh, delivery date by Christmas Eve, which means you have to go through customs, and it wasn't going to deliver till the new year. So they put us on this long ship that went
all the way around the world.
Somehow in 3 hours at 2 in the morning managed to find another ship that got there within 2 weeks. It's funny when you don't take no for an answer that you can make it happen.
We ended up launching our store on January 1st of 2016. Right at the end of our Kickstarter campaign, Shopify announced what was then their Build a Business competition. It was the day after our Kickstarter campaign ended.
The best possible thing is we win, but second best is we still build a business.
The winners who won this competition, there was 5 businesses that won, were sent to New York. They rung the New York Stock Exchange opening bell.
It was great. Ringing the New York Stock Exchange bell, my mom and dad don't really know exactly what I do. They're just she's doing something online. But for some reason, when I got to ring the New York Stock Exchange bell, they were like, we don't exactly know what she's doing, but it seems to be working. And my dad stopped asking how I was paying rent.
So fast forward to today, now we have international distribution. We have a fulfillment center in the UK, one in Australia, 2 in the US. That fulfills our stores. We're dubbed a physical product business, so our business is based on paper and day planners and journals. My
phone's like a productivity app graveyard where I'm this is the to-do list thing that I'm going to use, and then 3 days later I'm like, what? So there's just a folder on my iPhone of all these apps. We find, and we've been told by our customers, that they love the physical aspect of writing things, and I think because we're so connected all the time, that's becoming more of an issue where people want to get away. And now you have new phones coming out where all they do is text, and it's this crazy new idea, but it's really just old technology that you're coming back to because you're so distracted with everything else that's available on your phone. You don't have to come up with a new idea or reinvent the wheel or come up with some 3D printing robot or something like that. We basically started a business with a day planner. And I don't have an MBA. I literally never took a business class in my whole life. I just read a ton of books. Once you figure out kind of what you want to do, read a book on that thing and then apply it to whatever you're trying to do, and then read another book about the next thing. So don't need a brand new idea, just need to be consistent with what you're doing and then learning as you go what the next step is.